Hi, everybody. Recruiting Animal here on September 10th, 2025. Those dates go a little slow for me in my mind. At least I'm not looking all over. I remembered it without any panic. You know, I'm forgetting names as well. So, anyway, here we are. Another fantastic show. Nobody's here yet, but I want to see who the first person to come will be. Quite often it's a surprise, okay? So let's see. Oy vey, he's here. The first genius to arrive today is the great Richie Rich Rosen. Actually, I'd like to start calling him Rich Rosenposen, but I don't know if he likes that. Is that okay, Rich?
What's okay? What's
If
going
I
on?
start calling you Rich Rosenposen instead of just a little Rich,
Probably not good.
well, it'll confuse people. I like it. It sounds great, Rich Rosenposen. But if you don't want it,
I don't like it.
I don't want it. Okay. Look at Rich is moving his head around like little Stevie Wonder. Okay.
Yeah, and I'm trying to eat and crack my neck, and
You crack your neck and eat it. I don't think cracking your neck is so good for you.
I've been doing it.
Rich, okay, Rich, you're in line to win a prize this year. Okay, at the end of the year, I'm stacking stuff up already for quotes of the year. Okay, I think you're going to deny that you did these, but they're fantastic. The first one, you pay me to be brutal. I use it all the time now. Okay?
I never said that though. Never said that.
I'll have to look up his. I'll have to look up his past postings on LinkedIn.
I've never said that.
Yeah, okay. He never said it. I'm giving him credit for something I think is fantastic. Okay, don't tell me you didn't say this. Everyone wants to hire a killer. Killer.
Everyone wants to hire a killer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you? Yeah. Oh, okay. He admits it. Okay.
Yeah,
The first one.
it's not that controversial. Yeah.
First one was too violent.
I don't mean like a real killer. I mean someone that is in sales. A killer is a top producer.
Okay. Here's an important question. I hope you don't leave before I get to the one specifically directed at you.
Mm-hmm.
But did you see that clip of the woman who had the fight over the baseball?
Oh yeah, that's crazy.
Okay, would you hire somebody like that? I mean, everybody knows her now, right? You could recognize her face on the street.
Mm-mm. No, I mean, I'm sure she's
a wonderful person.
Exactly. Yeah, I mean, yeah. You guys can ship her to Canada.
Okay. The thing is, she was reaching for it. It was right in her grasp, and the guy snatched it fast, right? But I thought he was real smart to give it back on camera. A baseball costs $3.
Yeah, exactly. I don't know if he did it for the camera, but I mean, like, he's just.
Oh no, but he didn't do it. He got caught. Everyone was saying he should have never backed down. I think it was a great example.
Yeah, listen, in front of your kid, you might as well. It's like, what are you going to do? Fight with this old lady for what?
My dad brought me a baseball from Maple Leaf Stadium, the Toronto Maple Leafs. They weren't a hockey. I was
going to say a baseball from the Maple Leafs.
Yeah. And so, I still have it, but you know what? I wouldn't use it because it came from there, but it never generated anything special for me. So I don't think they're worth that much. Okay, here's another one. What about the woman? Did you see the pictures of that girl who was killed on the subway? The terrible pictures.
Literally just showed it 10 seconds ago on the TV.
Okay, you see all the other people. They're crouching away. They don't try to help her. Would you hire one of them?
Yeah, it's a tough one. Seriously, you know what? They were talking about that earlier. There was like a situation in New York. I don't know, a bunch of people. I don't know the whole story, but these guys went and got the person who attacked someone else, and the guy died or whatever. And these guys got charged with like manslaughter or whatever.
Daniel Penny. It was last year. Okay, yeah. The guy. Okay, it wasn't as violent, but he put the guy in a head choke. Yeah. And held him. I wish Daniel Penny would have been here for this guy. Okay. and so he was charged with murder. And you know what? It's always touchy that he kept the guy in a hold longer than he had to.
Well, yeah,
Okay.
but who knows if this guy's like this guy on the train? He's got a knife.
Yeah, but the other guy didn't have a knife.
Who knows? Who knows what the guy's got? But he's fucking nuts, obviously, right?
Yeah, he was
The
nuts.
guy's crazy. So I mean, I'd rather hire a Daniel Penny guy who tried to do the right thing. Maybe he went a little too far, but he doesn't know what's going on. That's why I always feel bad for the cops. I mean, like cops, you pull someone over or you got to go step into a situation. You don't know what you're walking into.
Okay.
You know?
Yeah. Is it bad for us to have this on camera that we say, you know, I don't like someone?
Why? You're gonna have an opinion. Who cares?
Well, okay, I got some follow-ups too. This recruiter asked, do you Google all your candidates? We were scheduling a final interview for a controller. My candidate is currently fully employed, so I didn't think anything was wrong with him. I didn't Google him, but my client did and emailed me a link to a news article that showed he'd served 14 months in prison for embezzlement. Luckily, we had another strong candidate to put in his place.
You know what? I try to Google all of them because I've had similar situations. You know, mine weren't. Well, I had one that was really bad. One was just this poor guy got screwed. Like he was an exec at PeopleSoft, and his wife kind of put him in, entrapped him, and it was all over like the San Francisco Chronicle years ago because the guy was in a final. He was a finalist. He was about to get the offer for one of my a client of mine years ago. This is a million years ago, and you know, he apparently a year earlier, or not even. Maybe it was, I don't remember how long ago it was, but either way, the guy got arrested for DUI, but he was set up by his wife, and he proved it. Like he was going through a divorce, and so his wife knew he goes to this bar all the time, so he hired like like two hot chicks to talk him up, and then hired an off-duty cop to get these, you know. So when these girls got him to go out of the car and hey, come back to our house and we'll go party. Guy's like, fuck yeah, I'm divorced. What do I give a shit, right? And the cop, you know, came out, broke his taillight, and arrested him for DUI.
And so you didn't get him hired or what?
No, I didn't. The guy was, I'm so pissed because it was all proven this guy was completely innocent. And this cop got in trouble.
Well, no, he didn't, but I mean, he was set up.
Yeah, he wasn't drunk. He wasn't like, you know, I don't know. Most guys, if two pretty girls ask you to go back to their house, I mean, and you're not married, you got no responsibility.
Yeah, okay. And this guy was not, if this guy was not Brad Pitt, he should have thought that there was something weird going on.
I have no idea what he was, but you know, hey, stranger things have happened at a bar.
Okay. Here's what happened with this.
I did have another guy too that a bad one that this one did have the offer, and then the guy, the client Googled and sent it to me because this is like the guy already had the job, but he got the job like on a Thursday, Friday. Apparently, he exposed himself to children at a church daycare playground. I was like. And it literally had the guy's address. I'll never forget it because, I mean, they published the guy's address, which I didn't think they were allowed to do, but they did it. And it was like Joe Smith at 1 Main Street.
Yeah, I mean, he's on a register. He's on a public register.
Now he is, yeah. I'm like, holy Toledo. So.
Okay. So these guys said, we called the candidate to ask if he was the person in the article. Okay. He said yes, but he said he was set up by one of the business owners at the company and pressured by the feds to cop a plea. Now, there was a famous case here where a guy went to jail. Garth Drabinsky was a famous CEO of Live Ent. They put on plays and then did movies. He was a big deal here, okay? And his company got sued, and this number 3 guy in the company went to jail because the other 2 guys pressured him to sign something. He shouldn't have signed it, okay? Yeah. But he signed it, and I think he was the CFO, and he took the hit. I can't remember his title. And I know somebody else who was in a law firm, and the senior partners got him to do something. They pressured him, and he lost. He was disbarred, a young guy, right?
Yeah. That happens.
So anyway, but so here's what happened. Actually it wasn't the hiring manager who got in touch with the recruiter. It was his champion in the company. The president of the company wanted to hire another recruiting firm. Okay. She insisted on this recruiter. So she was the one who found out about the candidate. She didn't tell the hiring committee, so they would still use him. He had a follow-up great candidate. He just put him in place of the candidate who had embezzled the company that went to prison. And so nobody knew any better in the company. And so he sent her a gift. Is that a bribe or?
Well, this guy's helping him out. I mean, if the guy was, I mean, it's a touchy subject, but listen, the guy, was he really wrong? What did he really do wrong? Or what was the situation?
Okay. Here's one who said, I had a client tell me she looked up my candidate on Facebook and didn't like the bad language, so she ruled him out. Hi, Alan Fleur. Did you hear that, Alan? You missed the earlier ones. I'm going on Rich Rosen. I like this topic. I'm going to work on it more. Is that okay?
Yeah, go ahead.
If Rich says something is okay, it's okay. But you can see he's actually doing something else. He doesn't give a hoot what I'm
listening-ish. We're listening light. I got lots to do.
Yes, he's a busy man. The recruiter says, I had a client tell me she looked up my candidate on Facebook and didn't like the bad language she saw there, so she ruled him out. What would you do if your client told you that? Anybody want to address that question?
It depends what the role is, number one, and how bad was the language. I mean, I can't. I mean, I don't know. Clients do all sorts of ridiculous.
It's a culture issue, okay?
It could be, but I mean, it's also a money making issue. It depends.
If you're a mergers and acquisitions guy that is got 20 years with Goldman, and you went to Harvard versus you're in the skilled trades and you're pouring concrete, and you're a female, you're pouring concrete all day and you're smacking around subcontractors. So it's all relative.
We're not pouring concrete, and sometimes we talk pretty rough here. Not the worst, okay?
Well, let me ask Rich. I guess my question would be: I remember years ago when we would kind of glance at somebody's LinkedIn, or especially their Facebook, and I mean, now and then I tell somebody, "Hey, look, you know what? Look at your Facebook. Look at this. Look at the viewpoint you have. Do you want the employer to look at that?" Well, they're not supposed to look at it. Well, yeah, but they do. So
yeah, exactly, they do. If you see stuff, I mean, I've had to tell people to take stuff down. I mean, some do, some don't. Some are like, don't care.
Okay. Next one, I want to move it up. I Googled another recruiter. I Googled a target candidate before I called him, and saw that he had been disciplined by his professional association. The entire disciplinary record was online. I did not call that person. Right move?
I get what it says. I mean,
what?
It depends what it says. It depends is it a smaller
What about
association?
just the fact that he was disciplined? Something went wrong, okay?
I mean, it could be a disagreement with your boss. I mean, like, my wife got in trouble once for something because she had to go file a complaint with HR, so then her boss, went and took it out on her.
No, this was the professional association.
That's the whole point. You don't know. What's the difference? That was in an office.
Okay.
You're making assessments, the judgments without the detail.
I mean, what if somebody went and saw a candidate's picture and saw that they wear these cheap rabbit wannabe Russian hats for the cold, and said, you know what? This guy's crazy. And he's just like, no, where I live, I'm cold. And this keeps me warm. But you got disqualified. You never knew it.
Well, Donna told me that actually I shouldn't put my picture in the recordings because it gives a bad impression. They see me and they don't want to listen. So I don't put myself in there, just you guys now. But they still don't listen, okay? It makes no difference. And I have good pictures. I think they're pretty good. Rich is always smiling. And Alan always looks contemplative, okay?
Contemplative. I want to be more like Rich Rosen. That's why I love this is my free Rich time. I love it when he says, he gives you some little thing, little gold nugget or something by just saying, aren't you on the phone? Why didn't you say this?
No. This is
I
what
can
you
remember
get.
that.
What the fuck?
Yeah.
Crazy.
Dude,
No. Rich did say, I've been quoting Rich back his quotes to him, and he likes to deny it, but he said, I told a candidate, are you deluded?
well, yeah, that I said. I'm like, are you delusional? I'm like,
Yeah, are you
I mean,
delusional? That's what you said.
yeah,
okay?
I mean,
There's another
well,
thing.
because some of them are like, you know what? There's this platform. I don't know if you guys have seen it where you can get on. You can get invited to get on it, I guess, or whatever. I don't know. It's useless anyway. There's like all these startups or put their projects on their salespeople, engineers, whatever. But every company wants the exact same human being, which doesn't exist.
Right.
For a half, for a half to 2/3 of the fee.
Okay, like bounty.
It's like a classier bounty job. They limit the amount of recruiters that can work in each particular role and stuff like that. But every time you send someone in, they're like, well, they're not from a hyper growth company. I'm like, but the guy did $6 million in revenue in 2 years.
Oh, this is
startup.
Rich is fat. I've got some articles about that. Rich is very big on don't go for people from brand name companies. They got all kinds of. They don't have the spirit you need. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Always
Rich, what are
talking
you doing?
about that.
Are you trying to help out folks that didn't get the job? Like the one guy got the job and the other two didn't. So you're trying.
No one gets the job. I don't know anyone that's ever gotten the job in this stupid platform because the companies are they're so ridiculous in that they want Captain America, who happens to live in their city, who happens to want to take a pay cut, who happens to have also walked on water and cured cancer. And then they're like, but he's born on Tuesday. We really need a guy born on Wednesday. They're that stupid. The feedback they give is so asinine and it's so ridiculous. And this whole platform is going to fail.
But it sounds like you've thrown some candidates in there.
Well, I want to try it because it's like, why not? And every candidate these are guys I've placed in the past. I know they're really good, but they look at the like animal. They look at it and it's like, oh, you were only here for 2 years. Forget it. Doesn't matter. It was COVID.
Rich, take you and Tommy AI up a resume and have Tommy do the interview. See how far he gets down the process. He's been at this place 5 years. He's done 10 million a year. He's done this. He's done blah, blah. It's a hyper growth startup. Can't tell you who it is because I'd have to kill you because of my non-disclosures and blah, blah, blah.
Yeah. And it's a horror. I think it's a horrible platform that is soon to fail.
Yeah.
Okay. What platform?
Paraform.
Oh,
we talked about that before. But Rich, I'll find it later in the show. But you said, don't go with the safe candidate. Lots of people say what we do as recruiters is help the hiring manager lower his risk or her risk. You want to give a candidate who looks they're going to be stable. And Rich said that's not the way to hire. You're missing people like the fresh drafts. You use the football metaphor. Of people who have potential. You said a lot of hiring managers refuse to see the potential, but the people you're talking about, they've actually got very good track records. Am I right? It's just they don't have the pedigree that you're.
Yeah, I mean, listen, I deal with startups. Not every startup's going to be a home run. Doesn't mean you're a bad rep. I mean, it means you took a shot. You may have some turnover because sometimes the company fails, no fault of your own. Sometimes the product doesn't actually work. I mean, what is it, like 10% of startups ever get to like 10 million in revenue or something like that? It's some ridiculously low number. So why, you got to understand the nuances around what happened. If someone's just making bad choice after bad choice, it's one thing. But if I'm building a startup and, the first guy I hire is not going to be a guy from Oracle or IBM just because they've got a big name behind them. It's going to be someone that's been at another startup and has shown they can succeed or knows how to build a proper sales cadence and get in front of
so I'm just going to quote you. You said the safe pick isn't the right one. Okay, hire people who don't come from the big names. They know how to make do with less, and it says a lot about their character and habits. Essentially,
the so-called safe pick from like a bigger name, like a Salesforce or Oracle, isn't necessarily safe. They think
they're hard to get too.
Yeah,
I mean, like
it's not that they're hard to get.
Oracle for a startup.
No, they're not that hard to get. It's just, it's a different type of sales.
You're not built for that job. Okay.
They're good closers and schmoozers, but they're not the guys who want to bang on the phones and do all the shit we all do, quite frankly. and really get the relationship going. A lot of those guys are great at, and not that all of them are bad, but a lot of them, the majority of them they're great at handling an existing deal. Or, hey, we can get in the door because we're Oracle or we're Salesforce. Everyone knows us. When I call up with, hey, animal recruiting, they're like, who the fuck are you?
I've had that happen to me many times.
And that was your mother. So it's that's all. So it's not that they're necessarily bad. They're just not the right. It's people like, there's a VP I know who he gets hired often, and he fails often, but he's got a bunch of early successes on his resume where he has taken companies to exits and things like that. On paper, he looks fantastic. On interviews, he's not nearly as good.
Is there also a balance, Rich, to strike? Because I mean, if the person hasn't been successful at a couple of places and they weren't his fault, that person has still learned a huge amount.
They have, but the hard part is getting companies to understand it and understand that, hey, we're looking at how this guy makes his decisions now. And now, why did he take those jobs? Yeah. Right.
Not only that, but what Alan just said, he was at 2 companies and he wasn't successful. How do we know that he wasn't successful because of the company rather than his own?
You interview him and you check him out.
Yeah, I mean, but for salespeople, it's extremely hard. If you go to 2 or 3 companies in a row and they all fail, then you got to ask, hey, what is your decision criteria? How did you decide to go to these companies?
No, but that's not the question. How do you know he failed because of the company? He can blame it on the company.
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if he failed because of the company or not. You got to figure out, why did he make these decisions to go to this company to begin with? Because is there a problem with his decision-making matrix that he's using?
Well, hold on.
Hang on. It's no, because you're assuming every candidate is good. That's not the case. Most candidates are still not good. It's not saying, hey, don't hire Oracle guy, hire this guy because he's at a startup. No, there's plenty of startup reps that suck. That's not the question. Yeah. If someone's moved around 3 years in a row at 3 different jobs, there's a problem. Usually.
No, that's not Rich. You said if the person is bad at assessing the companies that she joins, that's a black mark on her.
For a salesperson, it is.
Well, are you that good at assessing companies of the future?
I think so. I think I'm pretty good at it. I've done all right. So, I pick more winners than losers.
How do you do that? Do you have a checklist that you could rhyme off to us right now?
No. I mean, honestly, it's different from a recruiting perspective than going to work there full time.
No, it isn't. You're talking about the company.
It absolutely is.
Or not.
Absolutely is.
No, it isn't. Why? He's selling the job to candidates.
It's a big deal. My job is to sell jobs.
No, you sell the company. You sell the future of the company as well.
You're absolutely right.
You just said you're good at assessing that.
I am.
How do you do it? How do I do it? Because I ask 1,000 questions about who they are, what they are, what makes their product great, what's the funding like, what's the financials like, why did you come here, why is someone else going to come here, what do your competitors think about you, what are they going to tell me about you when I call into your competitive companies? It's a huge long list. It's all understanding how they say it, who they say it, because just because a guy says it, if you talk to an executive, they're not excited about what they're selling, they're not excited about their own company, you're dead in the water. Okay, so one of these candidates who's got hired by a company that failed, and you asked her, why did you join these guys? Has she ever given you a good answer? Do you ever get what kind of answers?
Sometimes they're great answers. Hey, this guy's got the CEO had a major pedigree. He's taken 3 companies public. I wanted to be on the 4th. The product looked really interesting. Lo and behold, they brought in, VCs come in and sometimes bring in a new team, or you have a new CRO that's just miserable, or this product just didn't work. I mean, there's lots of good answers.
Oh, okay. Have you seen bad answers? What are they?
All the time, all day long.
Like what?
Like what? I went there because my buddy was there. I went there because of the money. They told me all this stuff was coming. Well, those are all shitty answers.
Okay, if they told me it was coming, and you say, "Well, were you a sucker and you believe this stuff without any evidence?" Is that what you fire back at them?
Yeah, it's not that black and white, but I mean, you're taking a lot at faith. Like, did you see? Every time you take a job for a startup, you are rolling the dice to a degree. But you take a job at a big company, you're also rolling the dice too. That you're going to have the same manager in 2 weeks. You're actually going to get the accounts you were told you were going to get. So there's lots of reasons why someone can and can't take a job. There's lots of reasons why these companies fail. It's not just one thing. So when you're assessing it, you got to look at everything. You got to look at the people. You got to look at the product. You look at the roadmap. You got to look at how other reps have done, or what do these founders really like?
Okay, but won't the hiring manager at a new company say she's just blaming her own failure on somebody else, on the company?
It's all how you phrase it too, right? If you went in there and said, "Hey, listen, all right, these guys failed. What did you do to try to make it work?" And she says, "Well, listen, my job is just to sell. They gave me this junk to sell, so I had nothing to sell." Well, that's not a great answer, is it? If she went in there and said, "Listen, I came up with a bunch of ideas, come up with project, I talked to clients and prospects and what they wanted to see, and I, made a pitch to them of building these things out, and honestly, they didn't have a good answer. They didn't want to do it, so we didn't grow. We didn't enhance our product to meet the market needs. So if that's the case, then I'm the candidate. I'm like, listen, here's the stuff I showed them we should do. We should build it over here. That's, you went with someone that's a proactive thinker, not just a drone is like, well, I guess they said we're no, so I guess we're fucked. So, so that's how I would do it. That's how I look at people. What'd you do? What'd you do different? What did you do to make it work?
Mm-hmm.
And most of them do nothing. And I don't blame most of them, to be honest with you. If you got a shitty boss, I don't blame you. That's why having a good boss that you really like and respect, are the best people to work for, because you're going to go the extra mile.
Tom, were you going to say something?
No, I mean, he was asking, why did you come work here? And there was the bad answers and good answers. I mean, a lot of people can explain why they would leave a big company or medium-sized company to go work for a startup. And they can give you I don't work startups, but I could see how someone could give you very specific answers. This company's product, they really had a great plan. They had this, investments that we're going to do this and that and the other thing. And they've set out their plan to go to this market, this market, and this market, and all that. So those are kind of the good answers you're looking for. Like when you ask them why they went to work there as a startup, they should be able to give you just like when I say to someone, why is this job better than one you have now? And it can't be about money. Like you can get those answers.
Yeah. I mean, but it's exactly, it's knowing how to ask them. And, listen, a lot of these guys aren't good. It doesn't matter what role we're recruiting for. Most people are not good. I mean, I've got like 100,000 people in my database and I've placed, 1,200 of them. I mean, that tells you everything you need to know. They're just, you talk to a lot of lemons,
Oh yeah.
I mean, that's it.
One's man's trash though.
Yeah.
Should we be congratulating Rich Rosen? He's bragging that he's now on the advisory board of Pin.com.
Yeah, there you go. It's good stuff, man. Everyone should be using it. In all honesty, though, I will tell you, it's probably that and Cluely are my two favorite tools.
Cluely, I love. Yeah. I tried Noon out. Their sourcing platform's pretty damn good.
I've tried them all out. Noon was good.
Noon's too expensive. They want $500.
Yeah, they're super expensive.
Who was that? Which company are you talking about?
Noon AI.
We refer to them as a pin competitor only, no names.
NOON.ai? NOON?
And when you're not listening to the rules, no names.
Yeah.
No
okay. Oh, now he's okay.
And the other two,
Rich, I've got they Hire Easy sent me a mug a few years ago. Is it okay if I drink that?
Yeah, they're fine. They suck anyway, so who cares?
Yeah, but the other two do suck. Go Perfect and Juicebox, they haven't caught up.
Yeah. Are you kidding? People are still raving about Juicebox.
I gotta say, I've tried them all. And literally, there's like a dozen of them now. Even like Creelate's got their own one now, and it sucks. They're all. I mean, none of them are bad. Like the Juicebox one.
That's a good point. They're not
these
bad.
Are contact information finders. So if anybody doesn't.
Yeah, but they're expensive. I mean, to me, Pin just keeps getting better and better. Is it perfect?
Really?
I've had killer.
I dumped it.
See, but I don't see that's why it's got to be the how you're
industry specific too. It didn't work well for my industry.
But see, it works well for sales. It works well for. It should be able to work well for anything because sales is there's so many layers to it. So it's all about how you put the data in. They're fixing some things up that it has to be, because they've got to make a few things easier.
Well, yeah, because we sat there and we worked through the whole filter thing, and finally it got closer when we did some wacky filter things. But it was like, this is too much work to get to this.
What were you looking for that was so hard to find?
Estimators, schedulers, nothing. I mean, I can find them on, say, LinkedIn, but finding their contact info in bulk, Seekout did a lot better.
Oh, I guess I don't look at them as an enrichment tool, quite honestly.
I thought that's what they were.
No, they're
a sourcing tool.
They're a sourcing tool. Well,
They
Pin's
have-
a sourcing tool.
And campaign. But
yeah, I don't consider them an enrichment tool. I think the Pin.
Pin.
Yeah.
Sorry, Pin. Dave.
Yeah.
Pin.
Those guys, I mean, there's better places for enrichment, but there's a, I think from a sourcing perspective, like I put my criteria in, or I'll put a candidate in that I like and say, find others like this. And I mean, I can get sourcing done in record time now.
Yeah.
Okay, but
Yeah.
then for the contact information, you go somewhere else, because David's using that pin.com right now. Okay. Well, I don't want to put Rich on the spot. Rich is part of the company now. Okay. I don't know how many millions they're paying him. Or anything.
Never enough.
Oh, you're actually getting paid?
No, I get equity. I get some.
Oh,
And,
really? Good for
It's
you,
pretty
Rich.
solid. I mean, I'm using it. I'm doing a few campaigns through it just to see how it works. But I have another tool I have in my back pocket. But so far, some of the contact information it's found on my first pass of my campaign I'm sending out, it's not getting correct contact details. So I found another tool that's only like $50 a month. I can get cell numbers and all that.
Which is that? Come on.
Called Wizza.
Oh yeah,
How do you
Wizard's pretty good. Yeah,
How do you
Wizard's
spell
pretty
it?
WIZA.
WIZA. Yeah, it's pretty good at getting cell phone.
WIZA?
Yeah. No, not Z. Z.
WIZA. I'm flexible.
no, Zed.
Okay, I don't
Zed.
care.
Ay.
You
Uh,
can't make fun of me for anything else they
Come
call
on.
like Canadian.
Come on, Animal.
Okay.
Oh man.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Rich also. Rich. He mentioned something about the bosses. Rich said, "Bad bosses don't change." If a candidate, and so I'm wondering if you actually can use that to recruit somebody. He said if a candidate's not thrilled with the way her boss is working with her, she should leave immediately. Okay. Why should she say, okay, I want to leave after a year? Why should she wait? They're not going to get any better. But if she says, okay, Rich, well, first of all, will you how can you get a candidate to tell you that she doesn't like her boss? Anybody want to tell us that?
How are you gonna tell her she doesn't like her boss?
Yeah, you call someone up, you cold call, hi, I got a position I'm working on. Well, one of the things you want to find out, is she happy there? They don't want to tell you right away. And how do you get her to tell you that the boss is, as you said, a micromanager, or it's like going to work for an evil villain in a Quentin Tarantino movie or something like that, right? For a killer. Okay, so how do you get that information? That's something they won't want to tell you, and
Why
they're
would they not wanna
warned all
tell
the
you?
time. Don't tell everybody you got a bad boss; they'll think you're a
Who
one.
says that? Who says this?
Yeah, really.
Every career counselor says. Every recruiter says.
That's
Don't
where they're
go to
career
an interview."
counselors and they're broke and not making any money.
No. Have you ever told your candidate, okay, when you go into that interview, if they tell you why you want to leave, tell them freely you can't stand your boss? Every recruiter.
No, that's
says
different.
no.
That's not talking to us. That's talking to a client on an interview.
You never do that.
Yeah.
Who the heck? What junior person
Yeah.
is advising someone to do that?
Okay, but they want them. How do they know they should tell you freely? Okay. Oh,
Because we're not the hiring manager.
We're not the hiring
asking why-
manager. We need to know so we can help coach them through it.
Exactly.
They don't know that. I mean, how do you coach them through? How do you pull that information out? They're hesitant. They're inhibited.
You don't pay me enough to answer that golden question here. But the no, but look, you talk to them long enough, people will tell you, and you can just tell them, look. Don't look. I had one. Tommy will get this. I have someone who's been at 2 GCs. She's a younger assistant project manager, and she says, "I really want to go into development." And I said, at this point in the economy, you shouldn't. And you should stay at the GCs until you're a full project man. And I said, look, and you're going to go to an interview, don't tell your interviewer this.
The
Tell 'em-
GC is a general contractor.
Yeah. And,
Not
and-
everybody knows. These guys like using short forms that not everybody understands. And the masses who watch this show, they want to know, okay?
But
what's he talking
But you
about?
just keep talking. If you're a good recruiter and you can ask questions, if you're talking with them long enough, it's amazing what they're going to tell you.
Tommy Elascio, do you agree with that? That they'll tell you that, first of all, they'll tell you that their boss is a goof. And secondly, will you tell them, okay, you've only been there 6 months. Like Rich says, don't stay any longer. If you know the person's no good, get out. But one of the biggest things that your client will say, 6 months, she's old and she wants to move already. Why am I going to hire her and pay you for someone who's not going to stay?
And again, it's industry and job specific.
Yeah, it's industry, job, and case by case. I mean, there are definitely reasons why people leave after 6 months that are 100% legitimate, right?
And I'll challenge.
That's why
Rich.
I say there's nothing's black and white. That's why we talk about how everything is case by case. In general, yes, someone who wants to leave after 6 months, that's a red flag. So I'm going to dig into it. But everything is case by case, man. I mean, it's not.
These guys are like somebody who points out something really weird in the Bible, and a strong believer will say, well, that's not meant to be taken literally. Okay. Whatever is hard to figure out. They say, well, they don't mean what they're saying.
No,
well,
dude, let me ask you a
can't
question.
tell.
Have I ever said anything was black and white when we're having discussions?
Come on, you should be. How many
No,
times?
nothing in this business is black and white. There's so few.
I don't understand the argument we always have with this, right? Like this should kind of be,
If your candidate's only been with the company 6 months and wants to leave, I think the hiring manager, your client, should be worried. Okay,
It depends.
Company should
it depends, man.
Yeah.
It depends.
Here you go, Animal. I got Rich Rosen. I got Tommy Lacio. Killer, big billers in the commercial real estate brokerage thing. I bring them both over to Caldwell Banker, and they're both gone in 60 days. What happened? I call them up, and they say, look, they told me the commission structure was X, and they just changed it. They told me I would have a region. I don't have it. They told me I would do this, and it's 180
Turns
degrees.
out my boss is a cokehead.
Yeah.
No one knew. He just got caught. I mean, there are 100 reasons I can give you, and that other employers would go, okay, that makes sense, and not say a word.
Look at everybody, the kind of things they're giving really good reasons. Rich said the boss is just not nice. Okay.
Yes.
It's Animal. It's matchmaking. So Steve, why?
He said he's a big
That's
mean.
what he said.
He's a big mean guy.
The boss is a micromanager. You said that. That's a bad sign.
yeah.
And
Right.
if the entire interviews it was all about autonomy and we give you enough rope to hang yourself and blah 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 blah, and then a month in, all of a sudden there's a new boss or the boss stops doing coke or whatever, and all of a sudden it's micromanaging. That's a legitimate concern. I came here under the guise of expanding this team.
Guy. Like I had a situation where the sales VP hires this lady who's a great rep. She gets there, and she didn't have the guy didn't have his accounts ready, so she told all the other reps in the territory, just give her the accounts you don't want. So they gave her she gave this poor lady the just dormant, dead worst.
I remember this story.
Yeah.
You told me this story.
Yeah, I mean, so she's like, "F this," and she left. I mean, so she was there until she found another job.
What should she have done, Animal?
What?
Yeah.
What should she have done?
Yeah. She just go there and make no commission for a year because
Here's my point. You guys are giving really good reasons for leaving. Rich said,
oh, good Lord. You can't list every reason in the article.
No. Okay. Rich said he calls you at 6 a.m. and calls you at 7 p.m., texts you at 6 a.m. The guy's a nudge, okay? I don't want to work for somebody like that's not as
Hold on, I gotta pull up my Yiddish to English dictionary.
Yeah.
That's someone who pesters you and talks.
I know half my family's Jewish, so I know. I just like to say that because everybody knows that.
We didn't know that before.
I didn't know that.
we thought you were all
This is the education.
Well, step. So my
Okay,
step parents, my best friends, everybody. I mean, I grew up in went
He's
up to
Calera.
neighborhoods and stuff. So yeah.
There we go.
Okay, but here's my point. Here's my point. Rich was saying, okay. Also, the other one is they take credit for your work and blame you when things don't go well. Didn't you
Well,
say
that never happens.
Never.
Is that hard?
Never.
Is that hard to prove? Could would a hiring manager say, okay, well that makes sense to me. Sure, if she says that's what happened, I believe it. It's hard to accept. It sounds like everyone would say if you tell a hiring manager that, they're going to say this is a complainer. Don't want to touch. She's kryptonite. I don't want to
It's a
touch her.
relationship issue. It's a relationship and an interview issue.
Yep.
You say, look, my contacts, my boss took all my boss gave my contacts to Rich, and I got screwed out. And recruiting animal interviewer is going, yeah, what do you mean? Well, here, call my client. Rich Rosen is saying I dealt with Oracle. You call Tommy Alost at Oracle and ask him who you deal with. And
You see how he shifted that? I didn't say that the guy takes credit for my work. Okay,
I know.
how can I prove that? How can I prove that?
reports, sales reports.
Yeah.
And you got to check references.
Yeah. You'd be like, listen, go talk to the other people in the department. I mean, it's all it is. Listen, you keep always trying to dig for this perfect situation. It's not the candidate's got to give good answers and needs to know how to interview and dance around these topics because
these guys say 2 and 2 is 5, and when I say 2 and 2 is 4, they say in some situations maybe. Okay,
some situations. Everything has got its moments, right? There's so little that is. Hey, this is how it is every single time.
No.
That's
Except if you want to know how to learn about objections, black and white, you call Rich and Tommy.
there you go. There you go.
There you go. They want black and white animal. There you go. There you go. You
back
move.
to the topic what Rich and I were talking about when we started, because you just said something that reminded me about it. Okay. The recruiter says, one time I discovered a candidate had taken her previous 2 employers to tribunals for sexual harassment claims. My boss placed her into another role, not the one I was working on. And she then had a big claim against that employer as well.
I wouldn't be placing that lady.
That'd be an issue, but my question would be, how did they figure that out?
How did they figure out what?
California is big on privacy.
Okay, well, I didn't say it was,
California's like everything except for working.
I think that was in
Hey,
England.
hey.
Did you see my article I posted about that? I read about that. And then the best argument was these people in California, they're like, well, the other states are like that too. That was their argument against their laziness.
Lazy.
7th largest economy in the world. So
Fourth.
Yeah, well,
or 4th, or the
Yeah.
state. Yeah, the 4th.
it's until they kick all the immigrants out. So, and then it's all going to go. Then no one's going to be there to do all that field work.
Yeah, that's everywhere. Arkansas is in big fucking trouble.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Arkansas is in really, really big trouble.
I think they've been in trouble for a long time.
And
What's going on there?
They don't have the farmer. Not only they can't find labor, they never do stuff.
Today. You're using some cheap
but the
mic.
cost.
Okay, I bet you don't use that on your own show.
Is my mic not working? Sorry. How's that?
Well, maybe
Any
you're
better?
halfway
Better?
across the room. Maybe that's
Better,
why
better,
it's
better,
not
better,
working.
better.
That's good.
So the issue is not just the immigrant labor, which is a problem, but also cost, right? With the tariffs and stuff and the machinery, the combines they buy, all that stuff, like the cost has shot up, and it's basically they can't make a profit, right? I saw a bunch of articles in it. A guy called into Hannity yesterday crying basically that he needed someone to help, that they needed someone to help them, that hopefully being on Hannity will get the administration to look into this. I mean, they're in big trouble. It's wild.
Okay, let me move on. Okay, this was I thought interesting. I don't think we've ever discussed this here. Some candidates want to be my friend. They just call to chat. I say I have another meeting, but they're persistent and pursue me. What do people do to manage this type of candidate? Anybody had that?
Is he flexible for a fee? Can I make a lot of money off of him?
Yeah.
I'll hang out with him and drink with him and party with him and talk whenever he wants to call. If he's a schmo that I can't place, I'm sorry, I'm busy. I'll call you back. Click.
Yeah. Yep.
Pretty simple.
Yeah.
Hold on. So the person calls you once or twice every week just to say hi. I mean, and we know,
Oh my God.
we know
Block
that
his
you
number.
guys like to build rapport with everybody.
Yeah, but
okay?
we
He's
do,
a salesman. I think I'd give him to Rich and Tom. I'd give him to Rich. He's obviously a salesman.
Yeah. Or very
It's
low.
gonna, again, nothing's black and white, but if it's
Yeah.
a good candidate that I know I can place now or in the future, and he wants to talk about this, that, and the other thing, and it's not impeding, I'll talk to him. I mean,
What
sure.
if he's a guy animal? Here
Talk
you
to
go.
you dumbasses for no reason whatsoever.
Yeah,
It doesn't make
exactly.
me any money.
There you go.
Or an hour a week, plus my stupid shows that won't make me any money. Why wouldn't I talk to a candidate who might make me money?
Animal. Put it this way: what if Tommy's talking to an executive at a company, and this guy calls him twice a week, but out of nowhere the guy starts saying, "Oh yeah, you know what, Tommy, you working on that job? You should call Betty. She'd be good for that job. You know what you should do? You should call Stevie for that job. You should call David for that job. Blah blah blah." And all he's
That's
got
what
to
we
do,
do.
yeah,
That's what we fucking do,
Yeah.
man.
Okay, my impression was that this is not a moneymaker, a goose with going to lay a golden egg. Okay, and one commenter actually said, you know what, women have this problem more than men, and that struck home. I believe it's true.
I can see that. I can see that. Like my daughter, she'll get some people that are, when they see her picture, a little creepy. I can see that.
Okay, so nobody thought that was a big issue.
That's why I put her on the website with her baby. Right?
Oh, with the baby. Okay, yeah. Uh-huh. Well, they don't know if she's an unwed mother.
She lives in Arkansas. That's all right.
I like you to meet my wife and my sister, and there was one person standing by.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
Uh,
What about this? Hung Lee, who also has his own show. He
the guy from was that the guy from America's Got Talent? Remember that
William Hung.
yeah.
She bang. I love that guy.
I never watched that. Okay.
Oh, great.
So Hung Lee asked. I think he's more
I
oriented
mean,
to Europe.
it sounds like the start of a joke, doesn't it?
yeah, it really does.
And you guys
This
are
guy
trying
was
to get us
on
into
a
trouble. Okay.
16 candles, like 16 candles guy.
Yeah.
Long duck dong.
Yeah. Run hole.
I'm glad he's not going to
Big
listen to this show. Okay. He
Rah, 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 rah.
Yeah.
he surveyed 750 recruiters, which is the biggest form of bias. Do you know which one? 70.
Age.
Yeah, they said 70.
Far and away.
I do it every day.
Yeah, absolutely. Because it's your client. It's what your client wants. Who cares what we want? That has been proven not.
I'm
to be
actually
true.
now looking at people who graduated high school when I graduated and going, "Oh, he's too old."
Yeah. Oh yeah, totally. Like, dude, I 100%. I started deleting all these people from LinkedIn that graduated in like in like the early 80s and
Don't
70s.
do that here. Don't make me go in and edit it out. Okay.
You gotta
Too
do that.
late.
I'm maxed out. I gotta make room for the newbies.
It's entry level position, right? And it's or they want someone with 1 to 2 years experience to 70 grand. Like, what am I? I'm going to bring a guy my age?
Yeah, I mean that's it. I mean, no, I will say I do have a guy interviewing right now that he graduated college 10 years before I graduated college. So I mean, he is.
When did you graduate high school?
I graduated college in '94.
To 90. So he graduated high school in 80. So he's 7 years older than me, and I'm 50. So he's 64.
Yeah, which for sales guys, it's not.
Yeah,
always,
actually, the sales guys is a little different, right? Because a good sales guy who's got horsepower. I placed a guy who was 64 years old.
Yeah, but
because he looked like he was 50.
at the end of the day, that's in the construction space, and I personally agree with
Commercial
you.
real estate too.
Well, either way, but for software, everyone thinks it's a young guy's game.
Yeah.
And it's not.
I can see that.
I
I can
personally
see
think they're wrong. I mean, I'm 53, and the chances of a 25-year-old kid having more energy than me is generally pretty slim.
Mhm.
And they can put all the same effort in. If you get
You're a Superman. Everybody knows it. Okay.
Well, I mean, like,
you get,
I know what he's saying. Like, we're just as energetic.
Yeah.
and you have the brain power and the experience to actually, overcome what you.
Okay, you guys know way more about AI than the average recruiter. Okay.
The average person.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, but my point is, you're a little
I'll say
different.
the
I don't
same.
know if you can measure everybody against yourself. That's
We're
so.
wildly different.
Not measuring everybody against stuff. We're saying there are anomalies in the
Yeah.
50-year-old range that you
Yeah.
could get a fee for in an industry where people think it's a young man's game.
Okay,
That's what Rich is
you
saying.
know what? Here's
Correct me if
here's
I'm wrong, Rich.
No, you're 100% right. I mean, I look at it this way. Like my dad was 80 years old when he died, and he was at the gym that morning, and he loved working and would work 6-7 days a week if he could.
My dad was retired 3 years ago. He just turned 82,
Yeah.
and he only retired because of COVID, and he was the number 3 sales rep and the number 1 rep with the highest margins.
Awesome.
And he worked 30 hours a week.
Yeah. But, if you know how to do it,
Yeah.
it's that's what it's all about. So
He had
Okay.
the relationship. Every chef at every country club, every chef at every Italian restaurant in Little Italy
what,
knew him by name.
what was he selling?
Produce.
Produce. Oh, no kidding.
was he the Tomato King?
My family used to own the biggest produce company in Maryland.
No
And
kidding.
when my uncle sold the company, my dad just went to go work for Bowie, and then he ended up at Capital before he retired.
Oh, that's pretty.
You made me forget what I was going to say.
Thank God.
What was he? What were you guys talking about? Oh yeah, I remember now.
Game,
After
software.
2000, no. After 2008, there were lots of senior people saying, "Look, I'm applying for jobs. They keep saying I'm too senior," and they were. He said, "But you're going to get a senior guy for lower pay." And people said, "Look, the first thing that comes around, you're going to leave us." Okay.
Yep.
But hold on, isn't that a good hire? Hiring a senior person for low pay, you get their experience for nothing because someone else is biased and won't
how
hire
long?
them.
For how
You're
long?
biasing the question. You're
How?
biasing the question.
How?
You said if you hire someone with a great deal of experience for ultra cheap, take out ultra cheap. Just say for whatever the market would have been for that role at that time, and the person
Yes.
was overqualified.
Okay.
Okay.
Isn't it good
And
to
are they
hire
gonna
an
lose him?
older,
I don't
overqualified
think
person
so
because
because
age bias is going to prevent them from going anywhere else?
Here's the point: is they can call it a part. Look, one of the smartest guys I ever knew in the tech space, effing genius, number of patents. Said, Alan, if I can have somebody for 2 to 4 years, I'm ahead of the game.
Yep.
And after that, it's all gravy. So he actually hired a couple of older guys from me, older candidates from me, and said, look, I need to get this done. These guys have been through it. I don't care.
You
again,
know, you
nothing's
bring, up,
black and white.
you bring up a great point though, because this is the funny thing. Everyone sits there and hires, as if someone's going to be at the company for 10 years.
Right.
And when the average tenure, I don't know in your spaces, in mine it's under 2. It's like a year and a few months.
Yeah.
But no, the guy's 65 years old. He's too old. He's gonna retire next week or whatever. I'm like, old because you don't have energy is different than old because you're, there's old with no energy and there's old with experience. Yeah.
Ages
Yeah, with
are
experience and energy. I mean, here's one in our business. Tommy can speak to it too. Is once they've gotten to a certain level and they don't want to be a PX, an executive. Tommy, they're senior project manager, senior super, and they're in their 50s, 60s, whatever. And a lot of these guys love mentoring. They love teaching. They love passing it
They just
on.
want to be out and about. They just want
And
to
you
be
see
involved.
that, and you're just like,
Yeah.
let me understand this. We can hire Joey Bitchin out of college for X, or we can hire Tommy, who's got 35 years of experience, knows how to put a building together. Oh, and by the way, he'll help teach all of these kids how to really
But
do
again,
it.
Alan, you're talking about anomalies, right? A lot of times,
No,
with
I
these
got a
older
lot of
guys.
Yeah, I don't think it's an anomaly. I think people think it's an anomaly.
Yeah.
Well, I
You
think
know.
a lot of times with the older guys, you'll get guys that really didn't make good decisions in their career, and they have 40 years of experience. No, they don't. They have 5 years of experience 8 times.
Oh,
Right?
I'll-
They never got
I'll-
past, being a sales rep who sells by price or a sales rep who
Yeah.
only calls on their clients. They don't know how to expand a client base, right? And they jump from metal roofing company to metal roofing company doing their $5 million. And then by the time they turn 62, they've worked at 6 or 7 different metal roofing companies and no one else wants to hire them. Right.
Yeah.
And he's got all this experience he can bring. No, man, the guy has been selling to the same customers for the last 30 years. He never expanded past $5 million. Why the hell would I want him? That's why I say you have to really kind of look at it.
But
when it
maybe
comes
that's
to
the
someone
guy.
like that.
He should never deserve a senior job. He's perfect for the mid-level or junior position, even though he's been around for a long time. That's what it sounds like you're saying to me.
I mean, you
He
can
has
put him
no
in a filler position till you find a horsepower guy who's going to take your territory from 5 million to 7 million. I mean, like,
Okay. Well, that's actually what you guys weren't here when Rich was arguing online that you should hire people who've got potential. But what about this? What about this? Have you guys ever
Good
used
point, David.
the Mick Jagger rebuttal? They'll say, this guy's 62 years old. You say, so what? Mick Jagger's 82. He's got a wife who's 40 and just had a little kid, okay? Being older doesn't mean you don't have energy.
Charlie
okay?
Chaplin had kids at 90, but he was too old to pick them up. I mean, come on, dude. Like,
No, I think the Mick Jagger rebuttal. I haven't heard that one yet, but I think maybe I should patent it, okay? I think it's pretty good.
Copyright it and start charging for
he's
it.
82, by the way.
Hey, I gotta hop on the
Rick
phone, guys.
Jagger's 82.
I'll talk
If
to
you
you.
want to feel old.
Take care, Rich.
Jagger's
Bye, guys.
80.
Bye.
Rich,
Yeah.
thank you. And I'm going to advertise Tommy's show. You know, you guys don't know, but on every
See you,
show
David.
posted, I've got the link, not just to all of you on LinkedIn personally, I've also got to your show. So I've got Rich's class, I've got Tommy's show, the recruiterroundtable.com. He's got 3 shows. You'll find everything there. Plus, you can watch his old shows. Plus, Dominic's show. He makes it hard to advertise his, but what's his called? He always says
The Business Development Roundtable is basically
no, it's
what
called
it is.
something else. I wrote it down. Hold on a second.
Quota killers.
No, he doesn't use that either. He's tricky. I told you. The Recruiting Edge. That's if you go to YouTube and find the Recruiting Edge, I can give you his Google Meet to join up. But he's got it listed there. If you go into the introductory notes for the Recruiting Edge, it's easier to spell that than his name. Okay, and so Tommy. And Alan doesn't have a show, but I think you show up now to Tommy's regularly. Is that true, Alan? If someone wants to hear
Recruiting
more
Edge with Dominic Biani is what it's called now.
recruiting, thanks. You didn't trust me. Okay, I looked at it this morning.
I just wanted to see, like, because he keeps changing it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. But whatever, I've got the link down there. Okay, to everybody. If you want to call these guys up just to chat with them and force them to show how they would get rid of you, there you go. You can find them on LinkedIn. David M. Marr has left already, as did Rich Rosen. If you want to talk to him about his class every Thursday, 8:45 a.m., he opens the I'm not going to say that anymore. He'll answer any question you got. It doesn't matter what it is. Anything else you guys want to say before we go?
No.
And Tom, you don't
found
have
and
no
dialing.
Dominic to talk to today, so I don't have to leave a line open. Thanks, everybody. Goodbye. See you later. I had a lot of